guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about the difference between a 6 key holder and a key pouch and which I would recommend. But before I get started, I do want to say thank you to those of you who have subscribed, and if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. I put out a lot of videos about contemporary designer handbags like Coach, Michael Kors, Fossil, Longchamp, as well as some luxury items like Gucci, Burberry, and Goyard. And if you end up liking this video, please do give me a thumbs up down below. So I have both a key pouch. This is from the Gucci outlet. I purchased it in February of 2020 for $263. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a pouch. It has a big kind of open slot, and then you have a key ring for your keys. But otherwise, it is, just a big open pouch. I also have a 6 key holder. This is a 6 key holder from Goyard, which I purchased on Poshmark in August of 2019 for $352. 6 key holders are a more intricate design, so it's kind of a flap style or folded style, very similar to a wallet. You open it up and you have 6 key rings here that can hold all your keys, and then you also have a slip pocket back here that can hold a card or two. This is, I have a Goyard version, but this is very similar to the Louis Vuitton multi-clay as well. So the first kind of main difference, or like one thing I do want to point out before I launch into my whole spiel, is that a 6 key holder usually does not comfortably fit a car key. So just my lazy way of showing this to you, I've pulled my car key out of the key pouch, and I'm like laying it here in the 6 key holder. And if I were to lay it in the 6 key holder and try to close it, you can see that the car key is pretty large compared to the space in a 6 key holder, and at least in my case, the car key is a little bit longer than the 6 key holder itself. Now obviously a lot of you probably have more modern cars with just a key fob, instead of the whole key situation, but still I think your fob, for most fobs it would be pretty tight to try to fit it into a 6 key holder if you would be even able to button it at all. Now, obviously, I have both of these SLGs, and in my opinion, they worked well for different parts of my life, or different times in my life when situations were different. So first I want to start with when the 6 key holder worked best for me, and that was when I lived in a condo, and I also had an office key. So I had, my condo keys included my mailbox key, the main door key to get into the building, my unit key. I also had a fob to get into the building, and then I had my office key, like I said, and I used to drive to work. And my work had an ID badge that both doubled as a parking pass. So, when I was driving, I would need to swipe it, as well as the badge to get in and out of the wing of the building where my office was. So I had a lot of keys, and I also had the need to have a work badge constantly with me. So, that was obviously great because I would put all of those different keys into the 6 key holder. They'd be all organized, and then I would put my work ID badge, back here so that when I was driving, this thing could be closed and it would be easily accessible because I would have just locked the door on my unit, and I would just, boop, swipe it, and it would be very convenient. It worked well because, like I said, it organized everything, but it could sometimes be pretty hard to open it one-handed. As you could see, I was kind of struggling there. Basically, if my hands were full, it was hard to open it. But it was nice in that stage of my life because, like I said, I had an office key as well as an ID badge to get in and out of the wing of the building. So I would always have both my office key on me, in the key holders, and then I would have my ID badge as well. So it was just kind of my grab and go to meetings. I would just have everything I needed to access my office, whenever I was walking around the building. But now, at the stage of life I'm in now, or my circumstances now, I prefer the key pouch. So right now I live in a single family house. I mostly drive everywhere. My car does not have keyless entry, so I do have to use my car key basically every time I leave my house. So it's easy to pull in and out. We have a detached garage, so I do also need to have a house key, but those are basically the 2 keys I need all the time. Now, I'm about to start a new job and I won't have an office key for that job, so these are really the only 2 main keys I will need at that job. Obviously this is super convenient because it's really easy to get my keys in and out. You could see I could do it one-handed pretty easily. You just unzip one-handed and you yank everything out. So I prefer the key pouch right now in this stage of my life because I don't have, 1,000 keys to organize and all that. So now I want to launch into basically the 4 things that you should consider when you're deciding between these 2 SLGs. The first is, based on, my spiel before, how many keys do you actually have and how frequently do you need to use them? If you only have 1 car key and 1 house key, then maybe a key pouch is great because you can just, keep everything in one spot and it's easy access. But if you live in an apartment and have a ton of keys that all need to be organized and that you use a lot, like for example, you'll come home, you'll unlock the door to your main building, then look into your mailbox, which has a key, and then go up to your unit, which has a third key, then maybe a 6 key holder makes more sense to you because you have a lot of keys that you need to have easy access. The second thing to consider is, what is your car key like? If you have like a keyless entry car, you know, most modern keys I think are like that, or most modern cars are like that, then I think a lot of people put their car fob into a key pouch like this and they just chuck it in their bag and then they, you know, never really open it. So that would be super convenient. A key fob obviously would not fit in the 6 key holder very comfortably, and you don't really need easy access to it. So putting it in a key pouch would work well. But, you know, from there, you also have to think about how many keys you actually have, and would a 6 key holder still make sense? Even if you throw your fob into a key pouch, do you also want to buy a 6 key holder? Well, you know, if you have a car key like I do, where you have to actually put the key in the ignition of the car, then throwing all of your other keys onto a keychain, if you have like 6 or 7 keys, is actually bad for your car. You don't want the ignition to be like weighted heavily down by all of the crap on your keychain. So in that sense, if you have a car key, that needs to go into the ignition and you also have a large amount of keys, then maybe it makes sense to get both a key pouch and a 6 key holder, or at the very least store all of those keys differently in maybe 2 different key pouches. The third thing to consider is, do you need to have a card with your keys? So like I was saying, when in like my old office, I had both a badge that I needed to scan into the department, as well as a physical office key. So a 6 key holder worked really well for that because I would have my office key sitting here as well as my office badge there. This was just my one kind of grab and go thing. I don't think that would have worked as well if I had just had a key pouch, because, you know, when you have your keys out and you're, you know, opening and closing the door, if this is flopping to the side, your card or whatever you had in there that you also need could fall out. And so I think in that sense, the 6 key holder is a better option if you have that need to always have a card and a key together. And the last thing I think I would think about is wear and tear. Like, what are you comfortable with in terms of wear and tear? In my opinion, a 6 key holder is almost always going to wear worse than a key pouch. You know, it's like a wallet in that you're opening and closing it constantly, so that glazing up there is obviously going to crack. That's true whether you have the Goyard version or the Louis Vuitton version. I suppose if you had an all leather version, there might be leather piping up there, which might wear better, but you're still going to get like all that wear and tear from opening and closing this on a fold. And also, you know, the interior, if you do use these card slots a lot, can get a lot of wear and tear. So if you're, you know, constantly pulling cards in and out of here, there's no reason that stitch can hold up to that. So you could get a pop stitch up here. You could at least get kind of little folds like I have right there in the leather. You can kind of see that there. So I think a 6 key holder would wear a lot worse than a key pouch. You know, because compared to a key pouch, you know, all you really do to open and close it is you open this zipper. And I don't think that zippers should necessarily wear down that quickly. You know, the hardware may chip. A hardware in your key holder may chip, obviously, especially if you have, you know, gold hardware. I have silver hardware here, so I don't think that it's going to chip or show really much wear. But if you had like the gold hardware from a Louis Vuitton Key Cles, that's going to chip. And so I guess in that sense, I still think, you know, the hardware in a 6 key holder is also going to chip. These key hooks and this bar back here will start to kind of lose their gold color, at least in the Louis Vuitton version. But the hardware in a 6 key holder is obviously much less prominent than this like big, huge clip that you would have on a key pouch. So in that sense, if that bothers you, then maybe you prefer a 6 key holder. But otherwise, I think in terms of wear and tear, a key pouch is going to be better. The only kind of major wear and tear that I might expect from a key pouch really depends on the design of the key pouch. So I have a Coach key pouch here that I got from the outlet, and the glazing basically on this gusset has completely gone away because when I would put my keys in and out, particularly my car key, it's pretty large, so I would end up scraping it against here to put it in and out. So if you have a design of a key pouch like that, then yeah, maybe you'll see more wear and tear on the glazing and on the materials of the item. But otherwise, I would expect that the 6 key holder, like I said, would have more wear and tear. So ultimately, I have both. I have both a 6 key holder and a key pouch. It works for me right now because I do have still a large number of keys. I still have my old office key that I need to turn in, you know, once I eventually go there. And I have, you know, a backdoor key and a Swiss Army knife, you know, basically a bunch of keys that I don't want to put on my car key because I don't want to damage my ignition. But I think in the future, once I've gotten rid of basically that office key, I could really get rid of the 6 key holder. But I think for the type of life I live now, which is basically I need a car key and a house key, and then basically everything else is, you know, either cards or ID badges or whatever that are completely separate, then I think a key pouch works better for me in my situation. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or if you know, disagree with anything I said. But otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye.